G2 series where Heretics have made it to the grand finals. And I mean, if you're just tuning in now, you're thinking, all right, Mitch is having a stroke. He doesn't know what's going on. No, genuinely, Heretics are the team in the grand finals. G2 have lost the best of 3 at long last. And you know what? I reckon Angel is going to be upset about that because they've been so close. They're probably coming into this thinking, this is our time. This is when we beat G2. And you don't get to play them.
Typical. Anyway, we're in the game here. We have 3 ghosts on the attacking side with FPX here. Only 1 ghost on the defending team, and the classic frenzy Jett. We've seen this many times before. Jett having absolute frenzy with that gun, if you like. What do you think?
Well, yeah, okay, we'll see. We'll see if there's a frenzy or a flurry of frags coming through for the SUMN side. Now, on the defensive side, SUMN, I don't really know what to expect in this series. I'll be honest. These are 2 teams that watch each other closely. The 2 most tactically adept teams that we've seen so far, but also stylistically, they're very much the same. And that comes down to the points that we've heard on the desk. Boaster's been copying Angel. Doombro's Angel have a lot of respect for teams like SUMN and for Boaster in particular. So they've been looking at each other for quite a while. Now we get to see them butt heads in a best of 3, and I'm beyond excited to see it as FPX look in towards the A side. But oh, careful. There's 4 players here from SUMN FC. They seem to have a read on what's going down, and doma, well, he's able to take Zyppaan down.
Oh my god, already 4 versus 4 here. This is the river that almost pushing through the CT here as the Sage Wall comes up as well. Mistic is there on the corner, gets taken out by Angel, so it's a 3 versus 4, 40 seconds left on the clock. They need to have an answer here, but the refrags keep coming in. It's only a man waiting alone on site. Mo's trying his best there with the frenzy. Can he make it work?
Nice use of the dash to get out of there, at least create a little bit of space, allow his teammate to provide some cover. He baits them out into the open, but the trade isn't there. I like the attempt, but the shots hit by FPX cancel out the strategy, putting a 1-0 lead now for the attacking side.
And we know how scary it is if you lose the gun round on the defending side on split. Considering in most scenarios we find split to be a defender side of map, so this is looking. I mean, I'm not gonna call out any results yet, but this this can be scary.
That would be a ballsy play. Round 1, just FPX win. That's it. All right, move on. Map number 2 incoming. Now for SUMN, they're going for an eco, contrary to what we saw from G2 earlier on, where they just 4-spot. They kept going in for it. They were throwing their cash at the wall, and unfortunately, it never stuck for them. So I like the decision to SUMN to take Classics, and we've mentioned on the defensive side, Classics can be dangerous. And we've actually seen this from SUMN before, playing out this heaven control with 4 players, excuse me, up close, and then 1 in rope room. Mo able to hold his own. The rest of the players crunch in towards that mid side, but a great use of a flashbang by Shadow to make that space for his players to fall back, and he even gets an aftershock kill.
Yeah, and so far this looks like a pretty safe round here for FPX. They've taken out 2. 2 are very low in HP as well, but it's a full eco, so this isn't too surprising. Probably just a slow round here as Boaster gets taken out as well. Mo is in a really tricky position here. Gets stunned by Breach as well. Probably going to get peeked here, but he actually gets Zyppaan. That's a big trade and a little bit of economical damage done to FPX.
Definitely an impactful one as he picks up the weapon as well. Now, no dash to play with at this point, so he's not able to get out of that corner if he does get in a fight. Hasn't got that escapism, which could be a little bit of a problem. Now, Mistic has his smoke, his second one online in just 8 seconds. So this is a position where he'll probably slow it down, pop out the smokes now when he has 2 of them, and then if they are going to look to push, it will be now. I see, though, they haven't actually made a move off the smokes, so you can clearly see at this point, they're playing exits. And that makes sense. For Mo, for Mistic, you don't want to survive, but if you can take the weapons out of the hands of your opponents, that would be perfect coming into their buy round in the next one.
Absolutely, that's another reason why we see. Oh, and Mo takes out Shadows. Well, suddenly we have a 2 versus 2 situation. They are very low in HP, though. Mistic and a Dream, probably not. Yeah, and there we go. Pretty expected round, I'd say, but it's still good that they managed to take out 3 on the enemy team. Of course, they only bought Spectres there, so they were pretty certain that they could still have a buy for this round. So we're probably going to be looking at a bonus round here, most likely.
One thing that we need to mention about FPX is how much they play off of orbs. We will see them consistently take ult orbs, and that's why you'll notice Shao has already got that resurrection online. That is massive, and I think that's one of the reasons that we saw Mistic make the decision to push down those 2 players. He wasn't risking giving away the resurrection. He maybe gives Cypher his ultimate, whereas but the thing is, if he gets a kill, first of all, great. If he dies, it doesn't really matter. He still gets his ult charge. Whereas if he dives into the spike so that he doesn't get that hard 1,000 credit punch to his economy, the risk-reward pays off to try and hunt them down in that scenario.
Absolutely. We already have the Wardell kick W strat by Mo here, playing operator on round 3. Let's see if he gets anything done with that. It's a risky purchase. You basically empty your bank for that round 3, so this is an important round to win here for SUMN.
That it is an important round, but doma starts it out well, alleviates some of the pressure, but he's forced out of position. Good aftershock, good conversion by Shao. The upgrade isn't as good as it could be, but that is a nice upgrade to a man advantage based on the resurrection we'd mentioned was up and online for this round. There is a judge to be picked up, and Shadow does indeed get it, but again, on the attacking side, it's harder to manipulate your opponents into positions where they'll take the fights. Also worth mentioning, Mistic is now playing down below the rope on the B side instead of holding close in heaven, and that's probably because he knows he can be up against the judge.
Oh, and he misses that shot. It's really... Oh, Mistic with the perfect position here to get a double kill, but Shao gets in the refrag. Suddenly, it's only 30 seconds left, and they have to make a move here to get the plant down.
Great position, actually. I thought he was down below, but he was up on top. Got that. You can see they didn't expect that either. So very nice stuff to put it into this 3v3, but Mo has to answer up on that operator. He's already got 15 seconds, but now they're pushing him down. He's stuck, being pushed on either side, being naded and out of the round. Tsack, or sorry, Tsack, the player left in the 1v2 to try and recover this. He's swinging out wide and he catches Zyppaan. All down to just one. The camera goes out, but he's not going to check it. Quickly does! And baits Meddo into swinging around, and nicely played clutch by Tsack, and with that, a third round denied for FPX.
And if I'm not mistaken, that should... Taking a little selfie there, sir.
Why not?
I have a big guess that that's going to be a Red Bull clutch. What do you think?
I think it will be a 1v2, a beautiful play. That start, I love straight away. We are seeing how both of these teams play. You have the start of the round strategy. You have to kind of put yourself out there. This time it was doma going down through mid. Information gathered by FPX, they react. Information gathered by SUMN, they react. It is a very reactive play. They play for info, they play for map control, for ultimates. They have their objectives. This is not the loose style you'll see from some other teams of go out, find some picks, see what happens. It's calculated. Oh my God! doma straight down middle, but he gets shut down after just one kill.
It's the caster curse again, isn't it? They're playing slow and steady, gathering information, and then doma just flies in there with a double satchel. Oh, Mitch. Oh, Mitch.
Well, we did say they have to make a play at the start, right? And that is certainly making a play if I've ever seen it.
Absolutely.
God, you love that. I mean, not if you're the guy that's getting judged in the face 2 seconds into the round. You know, Shadow's probably not as big a fan of that strategy as we are, but from our perspective, great bit of entertainment. And also great allocation of a very weak weapon compared to some of the other rifles in play.
Yeah, and we see here the rotations are coming in over at A. They've usually been playing middle every round here, but finally they're leaving middle to try go for a different strategy to see if they get caught on the cam though, so they know the rotate should be coming in pretty quickly as the push comes in through heaven here, leaving only one person alone on site. Actually 2.
So there's the info, the push, the heaven lost. Where's the reaction for SUMN? They have 2 players stuck on the site, but they have got a nice tripwire out the front. They'll try to peek off of that if there is a push heavily down, so you will not see Boaster peek until that happens. He goes out, pops the aftershock, actually meant to pop that into elbow, but Tsack, he's spotted in the back of the site, the wall back there, but Tsack is delivering every single kill. Shao doing one further though, picking up a 3K and the spike plants as it's now into this 2v2, and those players that had been playing mid and B are just now making it into the defender spawn to mount this retake.
We see Jett here out with the knives. Obviously not easy to retake with an operator, so it's a good decision to play with knives here. As he gets shot by Meddo from heaven, so Mistic is almost on an impossible mission here to try to retake this. They can only hold these angles. They don't have to do anything. He's trying to bait them out with a teleport. It doesn't really work here, as they're probably just going to keep holding these angles and wait for a play.
I think the idea there was that they would think he's in elbow, obviously, as you're saying, baiting them out, but there's a kill. He's managed to catch Meddo in the peak either way, picks up the operator, doesn't want it, goes down to the Vandal, but time is too low. Time is done and dusted. He had to get the kill there. There's no time to stick it on. He's caught on the way out.
Oh,
what was that? He's going to go down to the spike in the end. Shao leaving him there as he escapes. Just about a narrow escape and a narrow victory for FPX.
Yeah, and it's interesting to see how different the playstyles of these teams are compared to the other split matchups we've seen so far, where almost the middle is just left untouched. Here you see a heavy mid presence from both teams quite frequently in almost every round, and then because they're both analyzing their playstyles, rotations and baits are coming back and forth, but they're a lot more centered around the middle than what the other matchups have been so far.
Certainly, and both, now 2 of those rounds have been with Doma on a weaker weapon. This time with the Sheriff, you're actually seeing a heavier stack towards the A site. There's not going to be any fancy blast pack plays this time around. You can see they're actually allocating Shao to watch very passive alongside a crossfire from Shadow in case someone does come blitzing down through mid so they could catch him off. Now what's also interesting is FPX are always that mid-heavy team, and it's Angel here we're seeing going forward first. This is a staple of the attacking side of FPX on Split. He loves to really poke out and pressure that mid area and try to get into rope room if he can.
Oh, Mo's got an angry boom bot after him. And, oh my god, the amount of times. Oh, look at this 3 guys camping in there, and what's happening? Oh.
They know exactly what Angel likes to do. As I said, the strategy we've seen from him even in the previous game for FPX of going in for that mid push into rope room and poking out and figuring in the early stages of the half how much control they're putting around that area. This time, he runs into very weak weapons and loses a Vandal. Great read by SUMN FC. Even though they probably won't win this round, they've already got a Vandal, and now it's time to see what else they can get out of it.
I really wanted to see his facial reaction there as 3 people are waiting for him with a shorty in vent rooms there.
I don't imagine he was looking all too happy when he made that lead. One of those situations where as soon as you see them, you're like, I'm dead.
Yeah.
Do I get 1? Do I get 2? But I am dead. There's no way out of there.
Oh, Doma actually gets the pick off here, but Zyppaan sprays and gets a double, but Doma gets another headshot here with the Sheriff. Suddenly, we're actually in a doable scenario here as a new nade comes out, but Shao just makes it look easy. Walk in the park. Very well done.
The Shao Show.
The Shao Show.
So he's having a lights out series straight away. We're coming into round number 6, and he's got his ultimate online for the 2nd time. That is very nice. Look at this. You're just dead. There's no way out of there. And again, great read by SUMN FC on the tendencies that are coming into play for FPX. And I think at this point, that is where you can actually start to play some mind games, you know?
Yeah.
If you're realizing this early on, these guys kind of know what I like to do.
Yeah.
But then your comfort zone shifts a little bit.
Yeah, and this is what we predicted, that these guys have been studying each other so much, so now we're going to start to see how deep is the playbook. Can they start doing counter baits? Can they try to expect that they know what they're doing, so they're doing something and double backing?
Exactly.
You know?
And you know, Angel, he's got that depth from Counter-Strike. He's played for so long. As we said on the desk, Boaster's the 10 years younger Angel. That's what Doom Bros has been saying. And when you look at that then, I expect Angel to be able to make those on-the-fly calls, figure out where the holes are in the boat and patch it up. But SUMN, they might let on a little bit more water before they make that decision to plug the hole or before they even find the leak.
Oh my god, and here we're already at a push in on site as Shao takes out Doma. He was camping in a corner, couldn't really get out of there as the Raze ult was just popped to give space, it seems, because obviously as soon as you hear a Raze ult, you're just gonna get the hell out of there.
Run for the hills, absolutely. You'll probably see Jonas up there in the mountains if you make it that far.
Yodeling.
Oh my word, it's like being on a Disneyland ride. I love it. You never know what song's coming up next. But I know what's coming up next for SUMN FC, something we actually rarely see in Valorant because, again, shortage of super smart big brain teams. They played for the retake on B after losing that opening pick. They realized, okay, we're not actually getting any openings, and contrary to the style of, again, I'm going to bring up G2 in the previous game, of kind of sending a player out here or there, poking and seeing, oh, can I find and force a fight that is favorable for me? They know FPX are not going to give you a 1v1 or 2v1 fight, or if they do give you a 2v1, it's because they've got the 2 guys peeking you. So they save all 4 weapons. A smart play by SUMN, although a bit demotivating when you do just lose 1 player and the round's over.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a move of respect, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's absolutely, they probably know how well FPX are playing the post plant with 5 people alive with full buy. It's going to be really hard to retake. And with a scarce economy as well, it's a big risk to take. So the fact that they now can play with full weapons and operator, it still puts the pressure on them because now they need to start getting these rounds, because considering this might be a kind of defender-sided type of playstyle we're seeing here, this can start to get a bit worrying.
Oh, it definitely can. Now, we have to always lean back towards the fact that in this tournament, a lot of the maps that we would even see as being defensive side wins have swung out into the attacker's favor. And SUMN at the moment are being pressured by FPX. When you're on the attacking side, you've got control of the vehicle. You figure out when you want to push, when you want to put pressure, and how those engagements start. Or at least that's how it should be. This time FPX go for mid control, but they leave a lurk outside B so they can hopefully push in there. I say normally the attackers are the ones that dictate the early fights, that choose the battleground, but this time SUMN, they take matters into their own hands. A flash, a rush in from tsack, and an opening duel now gone into their favor. They can just sit here and wait to see what FPX do next, and they've got a 3-man stack towards B, where it seemed like FPX were going to go. Even that smoke, the pressure by Angel, but look at the spike. It's creeping outside of A, as is their Meddo. He sat out here as well and about to get challenged and spotted.
And there's this waiting game. It's a tactical waiting game. Doma pulls back on site. They're taking control of Heaven here to try to push them back on site. It's really hard to defend alone on site. They're trying to split the teams off, excuse the pun. The wall comes up against the CT again, and so once again you see this type of attack on the bomb set that we saw in previous rounds, leaving 2 defenders on site surrounded. Let's see if they get a better working this time, but this looks promising for the attack team, but there's only 30 seconds left on the clock. Can they get this?
10 seconds as they push forward. Mistic able to, or not able to get anything done. Doma traded out immediately, now into a 3v3. That Heaven peak, Shadow managed to shut them down and take tsack. I mean, he's just won the round for them. Shao's popped his res and he's thinking, do you really have to get the 2 kills as I'm popping the res? Come on. It's kind of thrown away. I guess it's good for the economy either way, but the reality is in that situation, the fact that Shadow gets away with that, had he have died, they could have swung on the spike planter. They could have won the round based on the time. So he was the key player and he got away with murder, taking a double kill.
Absolutely, and Mo is probably looking to try to save his weapon here, but it's not easy. He gets surrounded and Meddo takes him out. 6-1.
It's getting tough.
Yeah, it's getting tough indeed. SUMN needs to look into they need to maybe summon a few...
Summon a few rounds, a few strategies, I agree. But, you know, the thing is, when you look in towards someone's economy at the moment, it ain't great. They can't get a full investment on every player. They might go in for something weaker in this round, I imagine. Your Sheriffs, your Ghosts.
Yeah.
Obviously, you're buying your full utility anyways. As you can see, all these players, they've got brains. They're doing that. Or at least enough that you can full buy in the next round. Whatever you can afford, basically. And so 6-1. And if you don't know, actually, worth mentioning, that's because in Valorant, you don't lose your utility when you die. You carry it through to the next round. So you're better to have it here, so at least you have the option, the door open, in case room opens up to walk through it.
Absolutely, and we see a semi-buy coming in here, or eco if you'd like. They're saving for the next round. He tries to get a pick here, but tsack doesn't really find it, as Angel takes out Doma, and already this push seems pretty effective, but Sheriffs are really hard to fight against Vandals, and they're just giving them the site pretty much for free here.
Oh, it's because Boaster's got that Heaven position, but with a Frenzy, he's the one player on the team that doesn't quite have that ranged capability. As you see, he tickles Shao a little bit, who even just heals himself back up. So at most, he's lost a little bit of armor. Left down with about 10 left.
Yeah. Oh, Mistic, a beautiful shot to the head. Meddo's gonna have a headache for weeks after that one. But it's still 4 versus 3. This looks like a pretty safe round. Unless some hero plays come out here, this should be pretty simple for FPX to take into a 7-1.
It should. And Angel's even just providing the extra security and watching B main aggressively. He can go for the mid flank if he sees the possibility. And actually, his position could be pivotal in shutting down Mo from saving that being shot in the head. So that also works. You know, you could have Angel come up through mid, late, and take the weapon out as they try to save it, or just shoot him in the head now. And why go through all that bother?
And Shao is just having one hell of a game with 16 kills now. Basically 2 kills per round.
And, you know, I guess as well, that now that I think about it, the fact that he's just been lights out is probably another reason that he popped that economy res earlier on. Because he's like, well, I'm going to have my ult up in 2 rounds anyway, so I might as well get him back up, save our economy some, and we'll be right back where we want to be coming into this. Because he should be very close, but he got a 4K in that round. And I don't know if he got ult orbs, but either way, with an ult orb here and a kill at most, he should be sorted.
So we have a tactical pause here for SUMN. Hopefully we'll see some changes to their playstyle here. Maybe trying to talk through, calm down, take a breather, and talk about how FPX did this. How did they get up to 7-1, and how can we stop this train that is currently coming towards us in pretty light speed? So, I mean, I'd say FPX are looking really strong right now, I'll be honest.
I like Sage there. Just talk to the hand, baby. She's not looking at the camera. She's not happy right now, even with 16 kills on the board. And I think, you know, the Shao show, we mentioned it earlier on, it's certainly continuing. The value of having Shao take these kills, they're setting him up to take ult orbs consistently as well. Even there, the cage is going out, they rob map control away. If he pops those, especially the one that actually blocks the peak that we're seeing tsack go for, or his camera C, it just means that now players can be in heaven, and you have to be very cautious of that map control that you've given up. So another thing, though, when you look at SUMN, I like the positioning of that tactical pause. I think it's really well timed. 7-1 is like my line, where for most teams, where you need to now fix it. And you don't want to do it too early. You don't want to call in tack pauses, slow down the momentum, really put pressure on your team to think and stew on what's gone wrong. I think you go with your strategies, and then you start thinking, okay, what we've called so far isn't working. Let's sit back, assess what's been happening now that we've got so much information, and figure it out. If it doesn't work in this round, though, SUMN are in a lot of hot water.
Yeah, now we have 47s left on the clock. And actually, both breaches have their ultimates, and they're both gonna use them. This is gonna be such a mess. What? Everyone's that there's no Cypher trap to actually spot them. And they just go for B heaven. They smoke off CT. They just rush into site and they plant with like 10 seconds. That was literally that was a playbook move.
You know what else? I think that the way they set themselves up was interesting. I'll talk about that in a bit, though, because Angel's already picked up the opening. Mo dashed straight down middle, trying a bit of a doma, but this time he gets domed right in the head by some bullets. So a 5v4 is now on the line. As SUMN, they give up mid control. These smokes should push them back. Doma doesn't really want to mess around with this. There's a lot of spam going on. There's still a lot of utility up and ready to go. In fact, I feel like a nade might be coming to him, but hold on. Boaster swings out for the kill. Doma with the trade, but it's not enough. A 2v3, excuse me, but look at the weaponry. Might as well be a 2v4 when you got a Stinger and a Judge to play with. The engagements you can take favorably are severely limited.
Yeah, and SUMN needs, if they want to win this round, they have to play around the strength of their weapons, which is currently close combat. And this is what FPX knows, so they take no chances. They're playing this very good. They're going to be main to try to keep distance. They know that if they get shot on close range, the ult comes out, it's the last round. There's no need to save it. Site is already cleared. He's looking for a Cypher camp, doesn't really find it. Probably just going to shoot his rocket here. Oh, but he maybe finds Cypher. No. Oh my god. Oh.
So that's a beautiful kill by Jack. He's pulled it back. Might be able to find more, but no, the range ultimately his biggest foe, or maybe it was Shao. Shao doesn't have the res online. They didn't take the ult orb. It's a key factor with 20 seconds left. The spike still to be planted. Smoke allows Mistic back up into heaven. He starts to move forward, but so too does Meddo, creeping inside the smoke, getting an angle that isn't expected. Good headshot, wall up, doesn't actually cover the retreat. So Shao is stuck in that position, but he's such a beast, man. Comes in with the headshot. That gets his res online. It doesn't matter, though. It's the end of the half. He's just showing off at this stage.
10-2. SUMN needs to be thinking here. What can we do?
Well,
how do we? So obviously we're in the second half now. They need to set up a strong attack, and I mean a strong attack. And you know, these teams have been studying each other really heavily. They're very inspired by each other, especially, you know, we know SUMN is very inspired by FPX, and it seems like FPX have found a way to use that to their advantage so far.
I know definitely, obviously there's the respect there from the FPX, and you can see what SUMN have adapted from FPX, improved on in some aspects, but then on the other hand, I think FPX are very self-sustaining. Without SUMN, I think they'd still be, obviously, in where they're at right now. It's a more beneficial relationship one way. What a push by Mistic, able to catch off Shao, taking the ult orb. They did not expect that one. That is such a smart play as SUMN take a double, a triple opening, and now the man advantages are aplenty as the spike goes down on the B site, and they even know that Raze is coming from heaven. Extra info, the cherry on top.
Oh my goodness, that was so beautiful. Just a bunny hopping Omen coming through the smoke and the wall there. Mistic takes out Zyppaan as well. This is pretty much it. Unless Shadow does the impossible here, this should be pretty simple. Yeah, there we go.
And what is it?
It's a Prime Gaming Flawless.
That it is a Prime Gaming Flawless round going over to SUMN. That is one way to get confidence back and start out the next half. That's what I want to see. Doma doesn't look too happy about it, though.
No, and
I want to see smiles after that. Look, hold on a second. Why was Mistic in that position? Did they actually expect this? Because that's not something I've seen FPX do every time. So
yeah, you said it earlier. They play around the orbs very heavily.
Yes.
Is this something they expected?
I genuinely, that looks to me like someone have said, okay, Shao plays B, or Shao plays upper mid at least. He is right now fragging out like crazy. He's been taking a lot of orbs, a lot of reses. Maybe they go for it. Let's try it. Let's jump over the wall. That's so smart if that's what happened. And I hope we ask that in the interview if we get one with SUMN, or just ask them later on anyways. Doma shutting this one down to start it. It is weaker weapons for FPX, but they have still got some damage dealing ability with that Sheriff on Angel.
They do, and the bomb is down already, so a retake situation here is pretty difficult for FPX with this eco round, but it's kind of expected here to save weapons, obviously, with the playstyles these teams have. We'll see if they can make something work here from CT. They're probably going to wait out the Cypher cage and another cage come in here. They're just playing time at this point. They're not really making any rash decisions. Omen smokes are down as well. Doma is just chilling out here in the corner, out on rafters. The stun comes in. Oh, okay.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's how we expect it to go, isn't it?
Absolutely.
There's not a whole lot of surprise in me for that round. But for SUMN, there's a whole lot of happiness. Now, they can play this as a bonus. It's a risk when you're this far behind to take a bonus round, but there's very few scenarios. Like, if it's currently 11, I can definitely see you just force buying up and buying all the Phantoms and the Vandals that you can. In this situation, I think you are better to play that very low buy. You're probably going to lose the round, but you accept that off the bat. And you can see for SUMN, that's exactly what they're going to do. So again, very low expectations for them in this round. Let's see what they can make work with what
Yeah, if they win this round, they're in a good spot to ride the wave and get a few more. Yeah. Obviously, with FPX full buying here, and we see actually 4 Vandals. Now that's what you want to see.
Well, it's what you want to see if you're FPX. The one-tap machines, the boys, they don't like spraying. They like that headshot percentage.
Absolutely.
You know, when you're SUMN in this position, it's a lot of pressure. But I think a round like this can almost alleviate some of that. You can make a faster play, and hell, if you win this, that is momentum. First of all, you're going to get upgraded weapons, but momentum swings massively into your favor. And if you lose, you can say, hey, look, we got a bit of info on how they're holding. You know, they probably already know a lot of it, but there's always going to be some adjustments there. Yeah. And you can read off of that coming into your first proper buy round.
True, as not much is happening here yet. A lot of lurking back and forth, but slowly making some movement into heaven here as they're getting smoked up. They're still waiting as Zyppaan takes out tsack here. Only 5 HP left. SUMN Mistic takes him back. 4 versus 4, 30 seconds left. Something needs to happen here soon.
Well, for SUMN, they've got control of heaven. Okay, they lose a player, but access to the side, there's no smoke down. Angel's in a little bit of danger if he does get wide swung on. Looks like they're giving him some respect at least. And the smoke, or sorry, it's Mistic. Excuse me. So used to the Omen being Angel in these situations. Yeah, Mistic was in a bit of trouble. He pops the smoke down very, very close. Allowed him to play around it into heaven, but at the end of the day, really, defender spawn was where you're worried about. They don't get a lot done. It was just a 1-kill, right? But at the end of the day, as we said, very low expectations for a round like that. You're poking out how your opponents are playing. You're trying to get a feel on, are they aggressively playing mid control? Are they doing something different than we expect them to? And now you come into this buy round where you can actually focus on just dealing the damage.
Yeah. Oh, the slow-mo voice is really creepy.
That it is. I also love Shao's cam, but what I love the most is that Shadow has fixed his setup. That man used to have the shakiest table I've ever seen. Every time we switched to him, it looked like he was in an earthquake zone. But luckily now, he's gone to IKEA, he's gotten himself a proper table, so he's sorted.
So this round, so important for SUMN here. We're looking at match points. Oh my goodness, that is so unfortunate timing here as Zyppaan takes that moment, but gets refragged pretty quickly by doma. 4 versus 4. Once again, we see Breach here alone on side, getting surrounded, and tsack takes him down, being ruthless. But another refrag comes out. Angel gets 2. The man, the myth, the legend. The bomb is down. 1 minute left.
So the UI again. Oh my god! I was gonna say there's only 2 left. That was the point I was leaning to. And then Angel just did the nastiest little double spray I've ever seen. The lineup was perfect, and so too was the execution. And that might just be the execution of SUMN FC's chances on this map. They're 11-4. SUMN have just full invested, which means that the economy now is not going to be looking great. This is tough.
Yeah, we're having some UI issues here. We're getting sorted now because it's actually 12-4. And we're back. There we go, there we go. We're on the actual round or map point here. And there's not a full buy counter. Oh, Mo is already taken out. 4 versus 4 so far. Doma just rapidly pushes into heaven. He's being ruthless, but gets walled up here, quickly destroying the wall. Ults are coming out.
I think at this point for SUMN, you need to get down to the site, but tsack seems to be the only one really pressuring it. This is heavy heaven pressure, which hasn't worked for them at all so far. FPX have been controlling this. They've seen it again and again, and Angel, the man who was up there every time, comes through with the final frag, closing this one out 13-4. A convincing win, if ever I've seen one for FPX, and that right there really sets the tone for the series.
Yeah, look at Zyppaan just grinning. He knows. He's happy with that. He's happy with Split so far. That was quite the show.
You know, I heard before that they were confident over on the SUMN side. Quietly, they'd done the